Welcome back to PD for the Soul, the podcast that nourishes the heart of your practice one episode at a time. I'm your host, Lanisha, and you've made it to season 2. Whether you're catching your breath after a long school year, reflecting on what worked and what didn't, or already dreaming up ways to re-engage with joy and purpose, this space is for you, my friend. This season, we're leaning into capacity in action, what it means to build, protect, and sustain the energy and clarity needed to show up fully for our students and ourselves. Can't forget about that part. You will hear honest conversations with educators who are doing the work, solo episodes that connect practice to purpose, and journal prompts designed to help you move from insight to impact. So if you're ready to reset, reconnect, and reimagine what's possible for your students and your own growth, let's breathe, let's listen, and let's learn together. This is PD for the Soul. Let's begin. You're listening to PD for the Soul, where we center the human behind the teacher badge and reflect on what it really means to lead, teach, live, and make math happen from a place of purpose. So far this season, we've talked about the myth of balance with Carmen D. Brown. We've given ourselves permission to pause, and we've explored discomfort with Raquel Hopkins, specifically how our emotions are messengers, not threats. Now we're deepening the conversation around capacity, but I want to be clear. This episode is not about limiting your potential. It's about recognizing how expansive you already are. The first thing or thought that I want to highlight is the fact that capacity isn't fragile, it's flexible. Let's start here. Your mental health isn't fragile either. As Raquel reminded us, teachers are some of the most adaptable people on the planet. Every day, you stretch yourself through new experiences. Every challenge, every pivot, every figure it out moment has shaped your growth. So when we talk about capacity, I want you to think growth, not grind. Not how do I do less? How do I avoid this? How do I get out of this? But how do I grow into this work in a way that builds me and not breaks me? There will be a point in your career where you're investing heavily. You're investing your time, your energy, your care. You'll be figuring out your rhythm, learning your students, testing strategies, scrapping what doesn't work, repeating what does. This is not easy work, and it's not supposed to be. There will be days when you are tired before the day even begins. Days when your patience feels paper thin and your to-do list feels endless. These moments are not a reflection of weakness. They are evidence that you're doing the real work of becoming. This is the work that builds you, deepens your purpose. It stretches your understanding, not just of the content, but of connection, compassion, and resilience. These are not moments to shrink, friend. They are moments to stand up in, to pause, to breathe, to remember that you are not breaking, you're expanding. Because capacity doesn't live in comfort zones. It lives at the edges where you're growing, reaching, becoming. And even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable, that stretch is proof that you're still in it, that you're still learning, still rising. So no, your capacity is not fragile, nor is your mental health. Okay? Your capacity is flexible. And every single day, you're proving that it's more than enough. The second thought that I really want to emphasize is the fact that boundaries are not walls. I want us to reframe the way that we talk about boundaries. Boundaries aren't about checking out, about putting your hands up, saying I'm done. Boundaries are about checking in with what matters most. They're not rigid rules designed to help you avoid work, avoid responsibility. They're strategic rhythms that help you sustain the work. So no, it's not always about going home at 3 o'clock. Sometimes you may need to stay later to plan with purpose, to prep with care, to set something in motion that will save you time and energy later. And that's okay. The difference is the why behind the effort. It's not because of your admin that you're doing this, right? It's not because your principal said this. Your why should be those student outcomes. Your why should be connected to why you came into the profession in the first place. I'm sure it was because you wanted to see students successful, right? So reflect on this. Are you moving from burnout? Or are you moving from intention? Are you saying yes out of pressure? Or are you saying yes out of alignment with your goals and your values? What are your goals, friend? What are the things that you value? That's why you're saying yes. It's not because of your admin, okay? When you're grounded in awareness, your yes has power and your no has peace. You can sit well with it. It is well with my soul. But here's what we don't talk about enough. If we only focus on how hard it feels in the beginning, when we're building systems, learning those routines, and establishing our teacher rhythm, we can easily rationalize giving up before the investment has time to bear fruit. Yes, the startup is hard. That first year or first attempt at doing it differently, that new curriculum, it's going to feel messy. It's going to feel exhausting. And yep, it's probably even going to feel thankless. But don't mistake the discomfort of investment for the failure of the idea. It doesn't mean I need to quit teaching. It doesn't mean this curriculum doesn't work, right? It means this is the beginning, okay? On the other side of checking in with yourself, your students, your values, is a solid foundation. And once that foundation is laid, each year gets lighter. It gets easier. Not because the work disappears, because we're still getting new students with a new set of needs, right? A new set of behaviors. But because the weight is distributed. Systems start to work for you. Structures start to hold. Clarity sharpens. Because we're giving it time to do so, okay? On the other side is where the rhythm happens. It's where the student's success begins to build. It's where you start blooming. Boundaries create space for that growth. They create an established baseline for what works well, for what sustains you, and for what it truly means to teach well and live well at the same time. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are scaffolds that help you rise. Okay? The third thought that I really want us to reflect on is planning for rest that rests you. Okay? Here's the heart of it. Rest isn't about stopping, or it isn't just about stopping. It's about feeling restored. And that kind of rest, it doesn't happen by accident. It happens when we plan ahead with intention. It happens when we know our rhythms and work with them. It happens when we build confidence in what we can handle and what we shouldn't have to. But let me tell you something I had to learn the hard way. There was a season when I wasn't really resting. Sure, I wasn't physically working. I checked things off my to-do list. I stopped at the end of the day, but mentally I was still in it. I was still thinking about things I hadn't completed. I was still thinking about things I wanted to do. I was still second guessing some things, still wondering if I had done enough. The truth is, even though I could check things off the list, I also procrastinate. I'd avoid the work when I had the time and the energy to do it, when it was on my calendar to do. Okay? And then, after I've avoided it, okay, after I've put it off, I would guilt myself into rest. Like, girl, you've done so much. Like, you can watch this show now. Like, you can relax on this couch. You can sit on your back porch. But I wasn't really resting. No, I wasn't working. I wasn't at my computer desk. Right? I wasn't planning anything, but my brain was still on. It was spinning. And then there was the shame of the pattern of not doing what I said I do when I said I do it. It was chasing me. Even in my stillness, I could not rest. Mind just going nonstop. What I should have done was stick to the plan that I created. I have a calendar, a huge calendar on my wall. I can see it. I have a calendar on my phone. I have a calendar on my computer. I have to-do list on my whiteboard in my office. I should have stuck to the plan. I should have given myself a gift of completion on time so I could flick that switch from work to me. Clean, full, without guilt or shame trailing behind me. We say we work better under pressure, but do we really? What's the cost of that pressure? What's the toll it takes on our mind, our body, our peace. Because real rest, the kind that restores, isn't earned by burning yourself out. Like, I wasn't getting rest because I was waiting till the last minute to do everything. And then now all of a sudden, okay, girl, you can relax. I really couldn't relax because there was another due date that was coming up real quick. Rest is protected by preparation, okay? It's nourished by boundaries, and it's sustained by structure that serves you. So when I make the plan, I need to follow the plan. So this is your invitation, and also mine, to ask, what am I saying yes to out of obligation, not alignment? Where can I build structure that frees up my energy? And how can I prepare better so I don't have to recover as often and it doesn't take as long? The longer it takes me to do what I'm supposed to do, the longer it takes me to recover from doing what I've done. Okay? Because that procrastination, all of that weighs on your brain, and it just takes so much time to bounce back from it. Okay? So this is what I mean when I've said before that we have to slow down to speed up. Okay? So that is, I'm going to take the time to do what I said I'm going to do so that down the line, I'm working more efficiently, more effectively. I'm resting more fully. I feel restored. So we got to stop glorifying chaos and start designing capacity. We got to stop chasing rest like it is a reward and start treating it like it is a right. You don't owe the world your exhaustion, friend, but you do owe yourself a rhythm that lets you breathe. The final thought that I want to leave you with is the fact that capacity is a practice. It isn't a fixed number of things that you can do. It is the ever-expanding shape of who you're becoming. Think of yourself like a living ecosystem. Your soil needs nutrients, your roots need space, and your branches, they grow and reach and stretch, but only if the ecosystem is healthy. When we take care of the conditions, we unlock our capacity for creativity, for presence, for connection, and yes, for excellence. So this isn't about shrinking your life to fit a boundary. It's about expanding your presence by honoring your needs. Educator, your capacity grows when you do. So instead of putting up walls, build structures. Instead of cutting yourself off, check in with yourself more often. Instead of striving to do it all, ask what's most important right now. This isn't about perfection. It's about preparation. It's about being ready emotionally, mentally, physically for the work you love to do, the work you signed up to do, the work we have to do because these kids need us. They need us. And you don't have to figure this out alone. If this episode resonates, go check out the Season 2 journal. Inside, you'll find a reflection guide that helps you define your capacity, set meaningful intentions, and plan with purpose. The link is in the show notes. Next week, we're talking with Dr. Tammy Dean about teaching from within, the power of identity-aligned practice. Until then, I want you to take some deep breaths. I want you to start saying yes with purpose, and I want you to say no with confidence. You're not fragile, you're growing, and I'm honored to grow with you. You are the soul of the work. Keep making math happen, friends.